Hi, Leather Rokk here. Welcome to my channel. Well, I'm kind of proud of myself that I finally learned how to splice two pieces of footage together. So by the virtue of my having a newly acquired tech skill, I'm going to show you two different makeup looks, two different rainbow looks that you can get out of the same palette, out of the same makeup job. And the palette that I'm using is something I'm absolutely crazy about. It's the B&H Cosmetics Take Me Back to Brazil Rio edition. Now, if you've been following my channel and you know anything about B&H Cosmetics, you know that there are at least two versions of the Take Me Back to Brazil palette. The first Take Me Back to Brazil palette, I believe, didn't have as many colors. The second one had more colors, but they were both mostly mattes. And I got the matte version, but when they came out with the Rio version, which is basically a metallized, metallic, frosty version of the original, and the two frosty whites that are included are not the same exact frosty whites that are in the other Take Me Back to Brazil. So I have both palettes. I love them. If you are looking for one palette that you can get a rainbow out of, either of these Take Me Back to Brazil palettes are the one that you need. I do, however, that said, because I'm a very pale skinned person, I like to have a matte white for my brow bone area, at least that first quarter-inch from my eyebrow to the rest of my eyelid. I find that a matte white is the absolute best color for me to use just on that area before applying the rest of my eyeshadows. If you are not as pale as me, you would probably want a color closer to your own skin color, but I'm just telling you what works well for me. And it would be so convenient. I mean, I didn't used to be a palette person. I used to be a single eyeshadow person. But the thing with palettes is that unless they had that white that I would need, no one palette could really be the be-all and end-all that I could just throw in my purse and be out the door. And also it makes travel kind of tricky. Like when I went to Washington, D.C., if I have this palette handy, I had a palette that I used because it was so perfectly ideal. It had all the colors I needed. And don't you know, I can't get my hand on it right now. But this particular palette, the only thing that was, I could say, negative about it is that instead of having a matte white, it had a frosty white. And the thing is, the older you get, your eyelids will often, because of gravity, will start to hang down and baggy and saggy. And when your upper eyelid starts rubbing up against your lower eyelid, then you'll find that it'll interfere with the wear of your eyeshadows and things. And that's why I like to really prefer keeping mattes up here. I can't afford to get the brow lift. I'm using retinol morning and night. And I am going to get the Retin-A, by the way, but supposedly if you use it long enough, the retinol, the retinoids help with the lifting, but I haven't seen any evidence with that yet. That's why I don't do more cut creases. But there's a reason why I brought up the cut creases thing. This video is going to show you this look. I'm getting ready, by the way, to see a Pink Floyd tribute band. And I am going to, because I don't know how long I'm going to be out there, there's probably going to be some marijuana smoking around there, because, I mean, it's a rock concert, you know. And anyway, when you are out in the chilly marine air with some wind, there's even a slight chance that there might be a little bit of rain, you figure your makeup may wear a little bit. So I'm going to start off with this makeup job here, which I'm going to let you see. This is a complete rainbow look. And now I have a little tiny bit of mascara on. I don't have black eyeliner on top yet. And I have one of the shades that I used on my eyelid for underneath. But what I'm going to do when I get back home from the club is I'm going to turn this look into a cut crease. And I'm going to add some special purpley sparklies to it. And when I get back to my camera, when I come back from the club, you'll get to see it. So you're going to get two looks out of one look out of this palette, starting off with the rainbows that you have here, which, as you can see, is perfectly fine to wear as is. And through the magic of editing, when I get back, I'm going to show you how to turn this look into a cut crease with purple glitter. And I hope you enjoy, so stay tuned for more. I'm back. This is Tabby Boy. And you want to see Cassie? She's in this window over here. Oh, Cassie. Yeah, Cassie better be good and leave that paper alone that I just finished taping to the window. Oh, and I just kind of didn't quite drop Tabby Boy, but I kind of sort of, it was either drop him or drop my computer, and I sure don't want to do that. So as I'm putting my box back so that I can bounce this computer. Okay, so gonna let you have another look at my rainbow eyes. They really held up through a night of a concert and dancing, and there definitely was people hanging out admiring the yachts before the concert, and a lot of people were wearing concert shirts, and it was a whole lot of fun. But I'm going to give you a good, oh, I really want to make sure this box does not open up, because if this computer falls, I'm going to be very upset. Okay, take a good look at this as is. I had to sometimes touch up the eyeliner. What I used for eyeliner was the purple shade from out of all the colors. I have so many of the brushes are these little brushes here, and they're in my trusty little thing. And you know what, I'm going to move it over to here. I'm going to trust that no pussycats are going to be knocking anything over. That would make me most unhappy. So the foundation that I used was the L'Oreal True Match in the color W1. Oh, incidentally, I discovered that e.l.f.'s lightest powder is not light enough for me. It's, I set it aside. I should have set it aside here for the things that don't fit. Anyway, it's, yeah. Alright, now, I said I was going to show you two looks to get out of this. If I wanted to, I could add a black eyeliner to this and a little bit more mascara. I only used the tiniest little bit of mascara on my lower lashes because I didn't want to cover up the eyeshadow which I used underneath. If you want to make a cut crease look out of this, that is not going to last long because it's really hard to get glitter to stay put. Oh, and let me close my door. Tabby Boy just went out. I close my door, then if there's any sounds from roommates, it won't get on video. I will tie my hair back now. Oh, wait a minute. You know what? I don't know if I have my coconut oil yet. Darn it. You know what? Here's what we are going to do. Follow me. I didn't get the coconut oil. I have to go into the kitchen. Oh boy. All right. Got the coconut oil. Oh, you know, I hope I can keep my cats out of my grow room so they don't behead any more of my vegetable seedlings. You want to see? Yeah. You want to see what they did to my vegetable seedlings, these little darlings? Oh. There. Take a look at this. Can you see up close that the cats have bitten the tops of some, like here, and now this guy's looking pretty good, but really what I'm interested in is getting the tomatoes going. Anyway, yeah, I have to worry about what my cat are doing. I have to keep this door closed, very tightly shut. I think two of the things that came up already are corn, and I think those are the things that look like grass. Oh boy. I'm not going to edit this part out. I can put two pieces together, but I don't know how to chop things up and then put everything together. That's a whole lot of work that I don't know how to do. So, you know, you're going to have to bear with me when I shoot these things. Now I got to find the cord. Okay. Yay. Alright, and just in case you're curious, it is now 6:37 a.m. I've had to go out a couple of times to try to quiet people up, but since it's already sun up, that's not going to be an option now. So people are going to be doing whatever they're going to be doing, and there could be not only bad people out there, but there could also be so-called good people that are making noise because they think they have every right to, because it is technically daytime. So, and okay, alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is I thought that there's two things I could do. I could either take this eye makeup off and start this all over and show how I do get up to the eye, the rainbow eye, and then I could keep this as is and I could cut crease on this one, or I could do a cut crease on both. I don't know what you want, but let's start with just on this one eye. Now, I was handling a cat, and cats are kind of germy, so I'm going to use one of these, but these are not antibacterial, so I'm going to hit this with some of the 91% alcohol. If you're going to be touching your face, you've got to sterilize your hands. And our kitties, we love them, but they're germy. So my hand's clean, so I'm going to get into the coconut oil. Now that the weather is starting to warm up, coconut oil should start to not be solid all the time. So, oh, now, oh, that's right, I am starting from the beginning, because cut crease does certain things different. But taking makeup off is taking makeup off. Get my tissues. As a reminder, we're using the Rio palette, Take Me Back to Brazil Rio version. It's really just the best rainbow palette so far in the affordable makeup price range. I've seen their Urban Decay has a Vice palette that seems to have rainbow shades. It doesn't have as many colors in it, and it's a hell of a lot more expensive. You know, if I'm going to get something that's really expensive, you can betcha I got it on an extreme discount, because I'm not about paying ridiculous prices for things. I can't afford it, and I think it's kind of wasteful and ridiculous to do it, especially if the quality's not even there. But you know what? I'm also finding something else, that if you get some things that are rock bottom cheap, sometimes you'll find out the quality isn't there. Like with some of these lipsticks. I'll tell you, even the lipstick that I'm wearing right now, this is a Pop Feel brand lipstick, and I just got it when I made that order from wish.com. And the thing I like about them is they smell kind of like vanilla. And so in first impression, they reminded me a little bit of the MAC lipsticks. And you know the MAC lipsticks start at like $14, $15. So, and this was what, $1.19 plus $1 for shipping. And you have to wait for a long time for it to arrive. But then the thing is that you have to put it on and 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 put it on to get decent color payoff, and you still have to reapply it several times throughout the day. But that said, I think matte lipsticks are kind of overdone. I'm tired of them myself. I like something that's got a little bit more moistness to it without necessarily being goopy and glossy, because things like that you're not going to expect to last a long time. And I'm also kind of tired of liquid lipsticks at this point. And this does feel nice, but it doesn't have the staying power and the quality of a MAC lipstick. So you do get what you pay for sometimes. Okay, first thing I'm going to do here is now this is actually what I used over my eyes, even though over my eyelids, even though this was my foundation. I used this because I really wanted to start using it, because I don't use it a whole lot because it's a little bit too dark for me. And if you're very, like I'm sure I said this already, if you're a very pale skinned person, you really would like to, you should have a matte white eyeshadow for your brow bone for this. I also think I have one or two single matte white eyeshadows floating around that I used to use before I discovered them in palettes. And I just happened to have this big fluffy brush that I had been using both for this matte white eye color. This is from the Modern Mattes palette from B&H Cosmetics, with a whole lot of shades in this. And this is a good basic matte palette because it has a lot of neutrals. It's like half neutrals, but it does have some significant brights. And it has the black and the gray and the white. And so that makes it pretty basic and pretty practical and pretty usable for most people. And I think this is a good palette to have along with other favorite palettes, because you have some basic shades that you can have along with others. Okay, with that little bit of white that I have on this brush, I'm going just on the edge of the brow bone, being careful not to mix with the eyebrow color. And this is where I have to be careful about which brush is for which color, because some of these colors look similar on their brushes. Oh, okay. We are going to use a red shade first. We're going to go in our rainbow from red to purple. And there's so many ways to approach a rainbow. But I am going to take this brush that actually I have so much better control now that I took the handle off this. The handle fell off it actually, and I never have found a handle that totally fits. So, but it feels really good in the hand. And I'm choosing this really nice metallic, like a tomato red. And this is one occasion where the matte version might be a little better, but I don't want to change with a bunch of palettes. I want to get it all done with one palette.
And I'm going to go from the inner nose area to about here. And I want to go just past the crease, actually. Then, for the orange, I'm using a C brush from ELF, E-L-F. And a C brush is good for depositing color. It can blend a little bit, but it's mostly for depositing color. And there's two oranges here, and I'm choosing the darker of the two. It's a less obnoxious color. And I'm going to go deposit it right next to the red. Just trying to make both eyes match. Okay, right away I could see that I didn't go high enough. And these two colors, this, even though it looks more gold in the palette itself, it comes across more yellow than this one here. This is another occasion where I think the matte version, the yellow, would be better for this. This look really held up nicely at the club, considering I not only was at got front row at a concert, but I went to a little bar afterwards and danced. This DJ, it was a new DJ that was actually really good. He didn't play, he played almost no rap. Okay, it was very civilized. But nice people, a very diverse crowd, but people were civilized and respectful and fun. And is that what you want for a night out? For people to be civilized, even if they cut loose, it's okay, but just be civilized about it. And people were, and it was so nice. This green is from here. And this is actually a sponge applicator. For these little things here, I sometimes a sponge applicator really does work, especially when you're doing thin little stripes. You have specific control. And the blue's on the other side, and the blue I'm using is this gorgeous blue here. And I am getting a diagonal stripe down here where it looks like I'm starting to run out of room. Now you see, if I had planned it, I could have done there's so many ways to do rainbows. I could have done the red and the purple first and then got things so that I had more room. And then some people like to have the focus on the yellow and have that in the center. It all depends. And it's very hard to get this totally symmetrical. So you should kind of be at peace with that. And since it tends to be a nightclub look, there is so much freedom. Now, the one thing is the under eye color might not last long. Mine honestly didn't last long. Now, you can also use, if you have a really good stay put waterproof eyeliner pencil, like one of those gel pencils, and you have it in a shade that you know is bright enough and you know will stay put, you could do that too. I imagine one of those new ColourPop gel eye pencils I got would probably work for this. But you want something that can go all the way up here. So you want a color that matches as much as possible. And your first brush, they had the red in it. Want to carry that just under your eye area. You know, the way you might use a highlighter thing. And do that on the other side just to make sure that they're symmetrical. Now, I'm thinking of doing something. They say when you open up a mascara, you should never mix it with anything. But this is a waterproof mascara that I should love, but it's gotten quite thick quite fast. It is the L'Oreal Voluptuous Superstar X Fibers with the base and the top, the mascara itself. And I want to love this mascara so much. I certainly wasn't cheap, but it's gotten thick really quickly, and I'm seeing some YouTubers actually thin it with a drop of pure castor oil. And I'm thinking I just might do that. I've also heard some people use sterile saline solution. But the thing is, anytime you put a liquid in the mascara, you're just encouraging bacterial growth. And I'm really reluctant to do that. So something tells me I might need to buy another mascara. But I just opened this like 2 weeks ago. And I can't imagine that I would need to get rid of it already. And this wasn't on a clearance rack either. I paid full. It was almost $11, which to me is a ridiculous price. For something like that good, it should mop my floors, wash my windows, clean the cat's litter box, and order me Chinese food for dinner. You know? And really, I'm not too impressed with how this is done so far. So I'm going to use the primer, and I'm only using a very light amount on this look. Unlike, I usually use a decent amount of mascara, but I really don't want to get smudges all over all of this rainbow stuff. And it's so hard not to smudge up. And I almost run out of, I have a non-oily eye makeup remover from Avon that I am almost run out of, and I don't think I'm going to order it again anytime soon because their prices they fluctuate, and I don't have the patience to wait around for an exact time when it's as cheap as I think it's ever going to be. And it's a whole pain in the ass thing that I don't know that I want to deal with. Oh, probably, I'm sorry if I was out of frame. See, this stuff is so thick, I don't feel like it's getting on touching the lashes at all. And I don't want to go on over so many passes that I do end up getting it on the skin and screwing up where the purple is. You know what I think I'm going to do so that you can see that there's two looks you can get for this? I'm going to make this match this one, and then I'm going to do the cut crease so that you can see the different look. So there'll just be two mismatched eyes, but that's going to, so that you can see the second look you can get from it. Now, what do you think of that? Now we can, again, this is a great club life look as it is, but you want to kick it up a notch. I would do cut creases a lot more, but because of the friction with my hooded eyes, they just don't last long. And if I use a frosty color on the eyelid and a matte color for the crease and above, the crease area, the hooded area above the crease still ends up rubbing up against the eyeshadow, the lid color, and it blends it and it ends up getting the shiny glittery color up here, and it's just so annoying. And I think eyelid surgery would solve the problem. Oh, you want to see what it looks like with eyeliner? And this is the Wet n Wild H2O proof. This is my second one of these. The first one, it was not waterproof at all on me. This one, for some reason, it actually seems to do a little bit better. Of course, since I have mascara on, it's going to be tricky to apply this. Okay, I'm going to close my door again. See what a difference some black eyeliner makes? And if I want, I can do a tiny little bit underneath, but I only want to do it down to here because I really don't want to cover up that purple. Now, we are going to do the cut crease. And I've been searching for the right kind of thing to actually make the glitter stick. The first couple of things I tried did not work. I tried using the Age Rewind, which is by Maybelline. This is what I used on my eyelid to prime my eyeshadow, but this did not allow the glitter to stick at all. So I'm going to try something else here. This is a brush. I tried using a finger in the pot of glitter, and that didn't really do a good job. Okay. I am looking for my Ben Nye Cream Makeup Compact. There's a very pale shade called Highlight, but there's also a shade called White. And these are small little compacts like this. And this is the highlight shade. Now, if you are really, 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 really white like me, or if you are gothic, you might want to go for the actual white face. Or if you're black and you want to live dangerously, you want to wear white face. Or if you want to play, you want to be in a Kiss tribute band, you want to wear white face. Or yes, if you are a clown, you want to wear white face. This Ben Nye cream white, Ben Nye cream color, I love this. It was $5.99, but I actually got it at half price at the time because it was a sale. It was very close to Halloween, and last time I was in one of these Halloween stores in New York City, I got some makeup, and it was, oh God, I was like, I died and went to heaven. Anyway, I'm going to clean my hand off again, and I am going to use the white face. And I'm going to go ahead and, let's see, I know what I'm going to use. There's a really great brush that came in the e.l.f. Complete Coverage Concealer. This brush is so awesome, but I don't want to contaminate these solid makeup things because as it is, they're several years old, and I'm sure they're past the point where they say that there's a chance that there could be bacterial growth and stuff, because now that there's packaging that shows how long something's good for since it's been opened, these things might be 10 years old. So I'm not going to throw them out because I use them, the white face I use whenever I do zebra stripe makeup, and that's at least once a year. Actually, since Halloween is celebrated like 3 days, I do that a lot. So you see that I definitely hit pan on this and the other one. So, and I'm sure if I get them now, they're going to be probably a lot more expensive, and I don't like spending a lot of money, you know that. So I'm going to take this brush and I'm going to dig into the white. I'm going to go ahead and get both sides of this, and you know, I'm going to take it off my computer in case there's any magnets in there. You don't want magnets on your computers. And I'm going to very carefully cut my crease. How I'm going to do that, I'm going to go and look where my actual lid is, but because my lids are starting to sag, I'm going to cut it a little bit differently. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to use this, I'm going to look at where my crease would start to be. And you know how when you are painting your eyeshadow in the crease, well, I'm going to touch my applicator to that crease just above, and I'm going to draw just above. Do you see what I'm doing? Just above. Now I'm going to clean this off my hand. I'm going to dip back into this pot. I hope I'm in frame here. You really have to watch carefully. If this shows up right, you can see what I'm doing. I'm basically tracing just above the crease with a creamy white product, and I'm putting this creamy white product over that. You see what I'm doing? And cleaning it off so that I don't get a whole bunch of colors in my white face. I'm really loading this brush. It's a great little brush. Even when this compact goes away, I'm going to keep this brush. And I'm going to go over again, and I'm going to really pack this on. And it's very important to keep that rainbow rim around. Okay, that's the important thing. And I'm going to keep on going over with this white. I don't want it to be really sheer. I want it to be opaque enough so that it's nice and sticky. That's the most important thing with this. The cut crease is done so that you have a sticky base for another, usually a much lighter shadow to stick on. Now, we're going to do something. I was trying to find the e.l.f. glitter glue, and among all this mess, I can't find it. So I'm going to use a B&H Studio Pro B&H Studio Pro Waterproof Eye Primer. That I'm not convinced is great, but I'm going to squeeze some of this on the back of my hand. And one thing I don't like about it is because I'm so pale, this is so decidedly not. You would think they would make it white so that it would work with everybody, but no. Now I'm going to get some on my finger, and I'm going to put some on here also. I don't know. I hope that's not, and doesn't end up being a bad idea, because I don't want it to cover up the white. Well, while it's still wet, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get that brush. Oh, I know I have that brush. Tell me I have that brush. I need my brush so I could show you how I am going to do the glitter. Okay, the glitter here is from ColourPop Cosmetics, and this container is for pressed powder eyeshadow, but this is actually pressed glitter. And the pressed glitter actually is pretty much glitter. It seems to be some kind of cream that it's in, but it doesn't seem to go on well with the finger, so you do seem to need a brush. And I just had a brush set aside, and I don't know why I don't see it right now. That really irks me. I go out of my way to be prepared before I turn the camera on, and when I do this stuff, I just get really mad at myself. So I guess I'm going to have no choice but to get out another brush, huh? So and that's what I have to do. I get out another brush, and or I could get one of these. Now these are too big. You want something small for this. So, and something a little bit fluffy. How's about this? Okay, I'm going to try this for my brush. Now, I am going to dip it. Oh, this is B&H Cosmetics i7 or 2.0 brush. I think it's a 17 brush, and it's supposed to be a crease brush. Oh, and this is, I want to get like 3 more of these. I love it that much. And I'm going to very carefully dip this. If there's a broader side to this brush, dip it onto the glitter. And then apply it, pat it onto this whole area. You just want to cover this. The whole idea of a cut crease is because there's a very strong line of demarcation that covers up the previously applied shadow. It's the exact opposite of blended, and usually there's blending in between the different areas of eyeshadow application, but a cut crease is a very dramatic technique that was invented by drag queens. That's where this whole look came from. And I think that's part of the reason why some men don't appreciate this stuff, because they don't think that women necessarily look feminine enough or whatever. And I know that there's a lot of men that prefer their girlfriends and their wives to not wear makeup at all. Or a lot of times what you men don't realize is, and even what fooled me for years, is a lot of what you think is no makeup still is makeup. And to get that no makeup look and still look pretty, it takes a lot of makeup products to do. Like, think of somebody who you guys might think is attractive, like Jennifer Lopez. Unless she's, now to me, unless she was portraying Selena, she's not what I think of when I think of necessarily glamorous people. But when she puts on the red lipstick, that changes everything. But when she has her normal look with like the bronze skin and the nude lips and the neutral colors, that's still a kind of a normal look. It's muted, it's subdued, but it takes a lot of blending and a lot of highlighting and contouring, and it takes a lot of work even to get that done. And yet, for years, I thought it was no makeup. Even though intellectually I had to know that if it's pictures that you're doing for showbiz, of course there's going to be makeup. Even the men on the news wear makeup, and they don't look like they're wearing makeup. But this is a trick you can do with anything. It doesn't need to be a glitter. This is called a cut crease. And the thing is, as nice a look as this is right now, if I go out the door wearing this and I go dancing and it's at least be humid, and needless to say my hair is going to be down, and if the hair blows up against my eyelids, you know glitter's not going to stay put. So I don't know if I should do this again, do this to the other eye. Do you want me to? You know what? I think I will, because I don't want to walk around with one eye fancy and one eye another. And you know what? In that way, if I walk into the kitchen, if by chance my roommate's up and is making coffee, I don't look like a dumbass. You know? Not that I care about looking like a dumbass in front of her, because if I'm going to look like a dumbass in front of anybody, it's going to be in front of my roommates, right? But at least I'm not using anything or drinking anything, so I'm not that kind of dumbass, and that's the important thing. So I'm going to do what I did on the other side, and I'm going to dip into my beautiful Ben Nye white face, and I am going to do what I did before, and I am going to cut my crease. When I see makeup tutorials of people doing cut creases, I get this eyeshadow envy, because I would do this kind of stuff all the time, but it doesn't last when you have hooded lids. I have not, okay, let me put it to you this way. I'm not saying it doesn't last as a definitive thing. There might be somebody who knows more than I do that's found something that makes these products stay, even if you have the friction caused by sagging eyelids. Now, if you have eyelids that are sagging so much that you're interfering with your vision, then it becomes a medical thing, and then insurance can take care of it. I have an aunt who's in her 60s, that's how she got eyelid surgery. It was actually impeding her vision. She was not doing it for vanity purposes. She's not a vain person. But it would be nice if you could get it for not just the catastrophically significant reasons. I would like to be able to get these hooded eyelids. It's a pain in the butt, let me tell you. I didn't realize that that's what it was until like a couple of years ago. I noticed how my eyeshadow had been wearing, and it really bummed me out that like I couldn't keep the white and the black separated. This was even in my Hollywood days. I noticed this. I wore a lot of black and white eyeshadow as well as the bright colored stuff. Oh, you know what? Do you see what I did? I forgot something. I forgot to put that the coat on top of the white face that I put on this one. Guess what? Let's see if that makes a difference. Because frankly, I thought that was, it wasn't as sticky as either the base booster or Elf's glitter glue. Now, do you hear that? There are either school kids or gangbangers having a fight. You should have heard it. There were people hanging out on the stoop. It was past 5 o'clock in the morning and people were still doing it. And I had a letter that I had to go out for an aunt or an uncle's birthday coming up, right? And I know when the pickups are for the mailboxes and stuff, but there is dirt balls hanging out on the stoop next door, and I felt, and I had no choice because I had to get this letter in the mail. But I mean, and then they were being noisy as I was coming back. I said, you know what? There are bedrooms all around you and people are trying to sleep, and 5 o'clock in the morning is still really not the time that most people want to be wakened up. I think they got the message. I wasn't about to tell them that I was going to be making a YouTube video in a few minutes, you know. I almost thought of not trying to do the rest of this video tonight, really. I thought I just wanted to take my makeup off, get in the shower, and go to bed. Okay, now let's see if there is a significant difference in the coverage on this eye versus this eye without the other coating. Now, one more thing I want to do. I really want to make sure that both eyes, the rainbow goes close to the eyebrow on both eyes, and it looks like this eye is not high enough. Oh God, those people. And I said, oh, here it is. Yeah. There. I don't want to do any more mascara because I'm afraid that's going to fuck things up. Oh, how charming. I hope I don't get copyright strike for that rap crap bleeding on. Now, if I wanted to, I could intensify the upper black eyeliner, but I'm not going to do that because I don't want to mess things up. So, what do you think of the purple glitter rainbow cut crease? Huh? Two different looks with the same palette. This is the really nifty Take Me Back to Brazil palette by B&H Cosmetics. The Rio version, which, do you want to, just as a refresher, refreshing your memory here, you want to see the main difference between the Rio version and the other Take Me Back to Brazil? This is the Rio version right here. And this Take Me Back to Brazil is matte. And so, do you see the difference? I have used this before for rainbow. I went to some places in Philadelphia where I wanted rainbow makeup, and I had used the original one, and it's travel friendly and all that. But if you like your glitter and your frosty shadows, this is the superior one. And I really think that they're complementary, and you always need black and white. I think if they ever make yet another version, they should add a matte white also, so you don't need to carry that with you for your pale faces. Okay, if you enjoyed this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up. If you like me and my content, I'd like to have you subscribe. I have 2 missing kitties, so I can't have them say goodbye. But, like I said, well, they will be in future videos because my best videos, I think, need cats on them. And I will see you soon. One final look. Do you like it? Okay. Oh, one more thing. Are you going to ask me, this is the Pop Feel lipstick. And this is the eyebrow color. The Wet n Wild Vamp It Up. Wet n Wild number 919B. It's actually a really dark purple. It looks black, but it's a dark purple. And I'm using Any Old Things, an applicator right now. I've been using this. This is a Revlon Color Stay liquid lipstick in Black Cherry, which has been an eyebrow color of mine also sometimes. For my highlighter, I'm using the B&H Cosmetics Blacklight Highlight Palette, which is this one here. For my blusher, I'm actually using a purple cream blusher that's a high intensity pigments, which is put out by L'Oreal, I'm pretty sure. And oh yes, that's it here. I really love this color. This goes on, it looks like a dark purple, and it goes on like this. You can sheer it out as much as you want. It looks kind of sort of metallic burgundy, kind of. It's got a little bit of warmth to it, but and it's really old, but it doesn't smell bad. So the color is called Elated, and the number is, I don't know, I'm not going to go cross-eyed, but so yeah, talk to me soon. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.